So if you have any questions, very sincere ones, then you can ask. Maybe Gonkar will answer.
I just have a question. Do you think you have a message in your paintings? I do get a, just been constructing one. And if you had to give one message, could you say there is one, like expressing hope in times of trouble?
That's a big question. I don't know. What I try to do is probably look toward. I think we got one of the smaller version of the Shambhala Buddha down there. If we say message, they might have lots of messages. But the one thing I much prefer sort of not delivering message. I think I more prefer sort of showing the reality for people. Then you can judge, or you can get something from that or not. And then basically, I really want to sort of entertain the people, make them laugh, and so that's probably my message, I think. Yes.
I noticed that in most of your artworks, you of course use very tiny details. Does the use of tiny details has an extra message for you, or just you like it visually aesthetics? Aesthetically, you like the idea of using small details, like stickers? Also the proportion, and the relationship with the biggest space and the small details. Is there anything?
No, I'm sure there is a message. I can't deny that, but I'm sort of not deliberately doing this. But when it comes to the detail, I think it's a very good point, because as I mentioned, I did study Thangka painting when I was in Dharamsala, and then I always been sort of interested in Thangka. Then I think one thing I learned from Thangka is I think the amazing thing about Thangka is when you look far, you can see the image of Buddha. And then I think Thangka always have amazing sort of effect is when you look from far, then it's always sort of draw you into it to look more detail. But when you go closer, then you can see loads of amazing details and the perfect technique and loads of details and loads of story. So that's something really inspired my work. So probably what I was, sometimes I sort of joke myself, so I'm trying to become a sort of like modern Thangka painter, because that's what I try to do. I like what the Thangka effect, and also I want to put that inspiration into my work. Big, when you look from far, there is a big form, then you might draw into it. Then when you go into it, then there will be lots of stories. Then I like that, and then also I think it's really the sort of Eastern phenomenon of Eastern art, and it's not only in Thangka. It can be seen in Indian miniature painting. It can be also seen in Chinese traditional brush painting. So I think yes, it's something I found quite interesting, and also that probably still sort of make me connect to my sort of culture background. So, yeah.
I have one more question. In Shambhala in modern times, your Buddha is divided in four. Does that cross, or that division, has any meaning, or was just an aesthetic decision?
No, actually, no. It's because I couldn't find 2 meter by 2 meter paper.
Practical reason.
So very practical reason. Yes.
I have one question. I have one question about Gonkar. It's about Tibetan art schools in India and Tibet. I don't know, but we don't have because art school more like contemporary art school like you have in the West. I would like Gonkar to explain about that part because when I finished my school, I wanted to study Tibetan art. And then there was no, as a modern art school, so what I could study is Tibetan Thangka painting, even if after I finished my school. So, like now this recording that we are doing actually is also worldwide showing. So for the Tibetan schools, I think there's a lot of students in India, and so. Now, what would you give an advice, because all the Tibetan schools, students who are interested in art, they would look towards artists like Gonkar Gyatso and Kampinso, and you are the senior artist that is showing the now. So would you give any advice or any message to the Tibetan students, schools?
I think it's a interesting question. I think absolutely because I had quite a long sort of experience of being teaching. Because before I went to India, I was a lecturer at the Tibet University in art department, and also when I was in India, I did some teaching for the Thangka painter of contemporary. Basic skill, and then also I did a quite long teaching when I was in London. I think one thing I would say is, especially when it comes to art teaching, I think in the West and the East, I think there is a balance which is really lost, because in the West, the art school is much more sort of focused on creativity. But less focus on the skill. But in the East, in Asia, or including Tibet, then I think the art teaching is much more focused on the skill, but not very encouragement for the creativity. So that's always end up sort of, you see two kind of artists came from. For instance, when I was doing my MA a couple of years ago, you can see a student after 4 years finish their study, and they even can't draw properly, but they can talk about art amazingly. But you can come across students from Tibet or in China, they can draw amazing pictures, got amazing skill, but when it comes to creativity, then they are very low. So that's something maybe we should maybe try to make that balance when it comes to, if you are teaching your student or if somebody is going to learn art, I think it would be very wise to go skill plus creativity.